The fight fallout continues. A hidden injury to Manny Pacquiao, which required weeks of treatment to his shoulder, but painkillers denied the day of the fight. Who knew about the injury and why wasn't it reported? Questions are swirling after the richest fight in boxing history. Hi, everyone. I'm Carolyn Costello in New York. Here with the latest is ESPN Sports business reporter Darren Ravel. Darren, let's start from the top here. So it turns out Manny Pacquiao injured himself in practice. How did this story first come out?
Well, actually, it came out after the fight, though I'm not sure that Manny Pacquiao's promoters nor Manny Pacquiao knew the way to tell it, because it doesn't seem like they had their story straight. After the fight, it came out that Manny Pacquiao was indeed hurt. They issued a statement on Monday saying that with rest he should be okay, and then he went to a doctor, and one of my colleagues, ESPN's Dan Rafael, reported that it was a torn rotator cuff that then needed surgery and he could be out a year. So I think immediately what the public was saying was, how did we not know about this, especially leading into a fight, especially when pay-per-view costs $100, when people are spending $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 to be there in person? Was the fight ever fair to begin with?
Well, why wasn't the fight postponed? Was it all about the money? I'm sure that's what a lot of people are asking.
Well, you know, Top Rank, which is the promoters for Manny Pacquiao, essentially admitted to that. I mean, they said that that was the date. They did not want to postpone the fight, and they went ahead as planned. Of course, as you referenced in the introduction, it didn't go as planned because they didn't fully disclose to the Nevada Athletic Commission the extent of his injury, which then became a problem when it came time to administer what they thought would have been approved, which is a painkiller called Toradol. He was then not allowed to use that before the fight since it was not properly disclosed, and you know that could have affected how he fought against Floyd Mayweather.
So there's talk of perjury charges for Pacquiao due to errors on that medical questionnaire that he filled out the day of the fight. How serious is that?
I don't think that's going to be a huge problem for him, although, you know, obviously you attest that what you are filling out, the boxes that you check, and what you write in the form is the truth. I don't think that's going to be the problem. I do think that Top Rank and Manny Pacquiao do have a problem with potential class action lawsuits, and we've already seen one filed in Clark County in Nevada, where basically people are saying this is fraud. We spent $100 for pay-per-view, and collectively we think that maybe $300 million will be the total pay-per-view buy. And this was not fair. This fight wasn't fair. It was represented to us as the fight of the century, the thing we had to watch. And it wasn't Manny Pacquiao against Floyd Mayweather. It was a half of Manny Pacquiao against Floyd Mayweather. And so I think that's really the problem. That certainly that's going to be the issue that they should be worrying about, not necessarily perjury. That some of this money, Manny Pacquiao was guaranteed $50 million. Floyd Mayweather was guaranteed $100 million. They got those checks right away after the fight. Is that money now going to be coming back if these class action lawsuits proceed, go to trial, and are successful?
Not just fans who spent money to watch the fight, but what about bettors? Might we be seeing class action lawsuits from people who bet on the fight as well?
You know, I think it's a little bit more sketchy with bettors, although obviously the fight happened in Nevada, and the place where you can legally bet is in Nevada itself. Mm-hmm. We haven't really seen the same type of lawsuits from bettors in the past as we've seen more consumer lawsuits like the pay-per-view. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but it's not necessarily commonplace. Obviously, if you use common sense, you say, well, if someone bet a large amount of money or collectively small amounts of money that would equal millions and millions of dollars. They estimated that about $60 million was bet on this fight, and you bet, again, on the premise that it was going to be a fair fight, and that was not necessarily the case. Mm-hmm. You probably do have some action. I'm just saying that bettors have not come forth in the way that consumers have when you've seen these things in the past.
Now, knowing that Pacquiao was injured the night of the fight, do you think it was evidence in his performance and the fight we saw?
Well, I was there. I was sitting in the fourth row. Manny Pacquiao is known as a puncher. He uses a puncher's glove. He is relentless. When he gets into a rhythm, he's there. He knows when to take opportunities, and he jumps at them. And we saw that in the fourth round and the sixth round, and nothing after that. And so, you know, Floyd Mayweather fought his fight of being a defensive fighter. And for the reason why I said half of Manny Pacquiao is because from round 7 to 12, that was not the Manny Pacquiao that had been advertised to us throughout his career. So, yeah, I guess you could say that it was evident that he had some sort of injury or maybe just something wasn't right. Now, you could say, and maybe Floyd Mayweather would say, Floyd Mayweather fought his game and threw Manny Pacquiao off. That's possible. You got to give credit to the other guy in the ring, but the injury seems to suggest that he wasn't himself. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, does this now make it easier for a rematch to happen? And in a way, I think it does. It kind of allows you to explain Manny Pacquiao's fight, and then you can say, well, you know, if it were a fairer fight, then, you know, let's have this rematch. Of course, I'm not sure you can charge $100 for pay-per-view again when people feel gypped, and I think, you know, this class action lawsuit thing might rear its ugly head, and you know, if it really manifests itself, goes through trial, it could spoil the idea of a rematch.
All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate your insight. You can keep up with this story in real time by downloading the ABC News app and storing this story for exclusive updates on the go. I'm Carolyn Costello in New York.